This is the story time of how my therapist reverse psychologied the fuck out of me, and it really changed my life. So in August of last year, my ex brutally fucking cheated on me, which meant I needed extra therapy because I was distraught. I was confused. I was heartbroken. But most embarrassingly, I wanted that motherfucker back. Not actually. No, I kind of did. I was just at the point of a breakup where it's like you find out you get cheated on and you're like, but I love him so fucking much. And he's like, I'm sorry, it was a mistake. And I'm like, having a whole other girlfriend isn't a fucking mistake. That's a choice, bitch. So that's the point of my life that I was at. I think we did like 5 sessions of me being like trying to justify getting back together with him, and her kind of being like, no. But like obviously not saying it like that because she can't, but just being like, I don't think so. Like, didn't he lie about his grandma dying? I'm like, why are we always focusing on the negative? But in this specific session, she like flipped a switch on me, and I wasn't expecting this. In the session, I'm crying about him again, whatever, and my therapist goes, why don't you just give him a chance? I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Like, this is the first time I've ever heard her say this. So I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, you keep talking about him. I'm like, why don't you just give him another chance? Like, why don't you just do it again? She's like, meet with him when he gets back from France and like sit down, talk, set some boundaries, but like, why not get back together with him? Like, why would you not? And I'm sitting there like shocked. I'm like, my jaw is on the fucking floor. I'm like, you really think I should do that? And she's like, yeah, like, if you're still interested, why not? And I'm like, yeah, why the fuck not? She's like, even though he had a whole other girlfriend, hear him out. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking hear him out. I'm like, yes, bitch, we're on the same page. So I end that session. I'm hyped as fuck. I'm like, my therapist gave me the go. Like, fuck what my friends are saying. I like text my friends back. I'm like, you all are fucking losers. I'm gonna date him again. They're like, wait, what, Livy? And I'm like, just fuck off. I was truly and utterly like hyped the fuck up because nobody in my life at that point was like, you know what? Give that dumb fuck another chance. Why don't you see it out? I feel like when everyone's being like, leave, at least for me, I'm like, well, now I want to stay because all of you bitches are telling me to leave. Like, and I know it's what I should do. I know that's what is the best for me, but like somehow I kind of want to stay. So when I heard my therapist be like, why don't you stay? I was like, oh my God. What part 2? Fuck was that? So I'm hyped. I start texting my ex and I'm like, I set this dinner reservation. We're gonna meet here at this time when you get your dumbass back from like abroad. And my ex is so excited. He's like, what made you change your mind? Like, I'm so excited to see you. I'm like, don't ask fucking questions, bitch. Just show your ass up at the restaurant. Like, we don't need to speak like that. I'm on the subway when I did this. So I'm on the subway. I'm feeling good. I'm like, yeah. Like, I'm in my power. Like, Guys, my ex is fucking thrilled. He's like, thank you so much for like giving me the chance to even talk to you. And I'm like, shut up. And I'm sitting there, I start reading my book and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Why did I just schedule a dinner to hear this motherfucker out? Like, his actions already spoke louder than his words. Like, what am I doing? I look and I sound and I feel like a dumb bitch. I go to work. I tell my friend at work everything, like the therapy session and how like I'm gonna hear him out and things like that. And as I'm saying it, I'm like, wow, Livy, you really sound fucking stupid. Hearing myself say that out loud, like, yeah, I had like a great therapy session and like, I'm gonna give him another chance and like, just like hear him out, kind of thing. Just like, I was like, what am I doing? And I'm in my head, I'm like, Livy, you cannot go and meet this man for dinner and like you can't even give this man a second chance. This man already showed you he doesn't know your worth. You're like the baddest bitch alive. He already showed you he is going to disrespect you, doesn't give a fuck, that he's a liar and a whack ass motherfucker. And you're gonna sit at dinner across from him, eat a sushi roll, and listen to him tell you why he had a whole other girlfriend the entire fucking time. Be fucking for real, bitch. Like, be fucking for real. It hits me. Thank fucking God it hits me. And I'm like, I text Max, I'm like, I'm canceling dinner. He's like, can we at least do dessert? I'm like, no, no, bitch. There's no dinner, there's no dessert. Get the fuck out of my face. And I'm like, I cannot do this. I don't want to be with this person anymore. And I'm tired of the cycle of like, oh my God, like, yeah, he did this horrible thing, but like, maybe I should stay. Like, no, fuck that. Like, I worked way too hard and way too long on loving myself to let a whack-ass motherfucker who decided to be a whore ruin all my self-growth and my self-love. So like a week later, I block him and I'm like, done. Like, that was the end of the relationship. A month or 2 later, it hits me. I'm like, my therapist reverse psychologied the fuck out of me. Because if it wasn't for her being like, yeah, like, give him a chance, like, try it out, I would have never had the realization that I was acting like a dumb fucking bitch. I really am forever grateful for her doing that, because like, I honestly, it snapped me out of my dumb bitch era so fucking quick. Shout out to my therapist. I love you. But now when my friends are like talking to their loser fucking exes and like being in the situation that I was, I'm like, give them a chance. I'm out here reverse psychologying them.
Like seriously, right before we close.
No.
No, they're not going to the same.
No.
You want me to go get the tag number?
Leave that for me.
The little Mazda hatchback. I think either that or Nissan. No, it's Mazda.
Damn.
177 Arcade 4.
177.
177 Arcade 4.
Am I the only person that wants to understand why it is that men only listen when you raise the stakes so high they have no choice but to listen? Last night I got into an argument with my boyfriend of 12 years. I said to him, I don't want to have these conversations. I don't want to be upset with you. I don't want to talk to you in this tone of voice. I don't want to say these types of things. The issue at hand was that I felt like things that were important to me were never important to him. If it was my priority, he would never prioritize it. If it was me, he wouldn't prioritize me. So I used the example of us needing to find a storage unit. And I have been saying, when have you done it? Hey, have you looked into it? Hey, like, what's the timeline on that? Hey, blah, blah, blah. And I would ask him over and over and over again. So I said to him, how many times of me asking you that really nicely and me being patient with you and asking you over the course of weeks, at what point is it then acceptable and understandable for me to be like, when the fuck are you going to get the storage unit? I told him that I explain something to him, I tell him I'm frustrated, and he immediately dismisses it or says that's not the situation or whatever, because to him, he's never heard me talk about it before. To him, he can't remember the last time I brought this up. I told him, why do you think it gets to this point? Because this is the only time you will listen. The only time that I feel like I really have his undivided attention is when I am sitting here going off saying this, and I'm having to literally defend all the reasoning of why I feel the way that I do, instead of me just saying, hey, I really didn't like that, or I really need you to do this, or I, really feel like, and then him like, oh my God, I didn't know you feel that way. I'm so sorry that you feel that way. I'm going to just fix it. No, it's ignore. And then I'm like, hello? What the fuck? Am I alone in this? I know they do. I know other women are dealing with this. Anyone who's in a relationship with a man, I know they are dealing with this.
Huff, you work overnight at a gas station alone.
Your front plate? What's wrong with your front plate? Oh, why is that a bad thing? Oh, I was just laughing because I'm a bad driver. That's why. Yeah. Huh? Oh, is something out there? You keep looking back. You keep looking up. Huh? Stealing it? They love to clink the shackles on you? Oh, why did he clink the shackles on you? All right, well, I gotta get back to work, so if you... Oh, not scary. I don't like the cars. No. I don't know about that one either. I have a boyfriend. I do. Well, you weren't asking me to hang out earlier. Yeah. No, we like them here.
The pick-me tomboy gamer girl transformed into hyper-feminine girl.
My childhood friend went through this transition, and when we were younger, we actually didn't enjoy playing with each other because for her, I was too girly, too sensitive. I was obsessed with the color pink, still kinda am. And for me, I was very sensitive, so I knew she didn't like me. She kinda made me cry all the time, and we were like into different stuffs. So we just didn't hit it off. But our parents really kind of forced us to play with each other because they wanted us to learn from each other. For her parents, they really liked me because I was more attentive and I was more gentle and I liked dresses. My parents really liked her because she's such a good person. She makes the best joke and they wanted me to learn that from her. So after being kind of forced to play with each other for like 10 years, you wore each other down. We became friends, and it's more like family kind of friends. But I always knew that she is very different than me. So when I moved to Korea, I wanted to buy people some gifts. I called her and I told her that, hello, I am not going to buy you makeup because I don't want you to make fun of me. You don't like makeup. Tell me what you like. I'm gonna buy you some gifts on my way back to visit you. And she told me to buy her eyeshadow palettes. That is pink. It needs to be glittery. It needs to have all the glitters possible. She wants to like all glittered up earrings with feathers on them. Pink dresses with like lace and stuff like that. I honestly took a look at my phone to make sure that I was calling the right person. And I was extremely confused and asked her, are you making fun of me? Like, oh, I don't understand what's happening. And then she told me she has been experimenting with makeup. She has been trying different kinds of style and she was enjoying being a little fairy. She told me she wants to look like a princess. I bought her all kinds of plushies, all kinds of stuff that I always wanted to get my friends. I could finally give it to her. But I had to ask her, right? Because like you made fun of me growing up for liking pink and now you want to look like a little fairy. I'm happy for you, but I just wonder why. And then she told me the reason why she wanted to be a tomboy, to look like a boy and act like one, is because she overheard her relatives saying that girls cannot achieve anything and she heard her parents saying that they originally wanted a boy. So she spent all those years as a child confused, thinking that she's not enough and the only way for her to achieve anything is to act like a boy. But now she's a happy little fairy.
Videos that altered my brain chemistry, part 4.
What's the name of the place? It's Candle Supply. I don't know how I got to it.
What was that?
I don't know. I just tore my car up though.
What in the world was that?
I don't know.
It's like the bottom came out.
It was, I went right through there. It just looked like a road, didn't it? It looks terrible. I don't know what's happening.
It's smoking.
Do you know where the Candle Supply is?
Let's talk about New York City influencers and why I just left an event after 20 minutes. And it was one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life. I have heard a lot about influencer culture on this app and like bad experiences that people have had with certain influencers, but I never experienced it firsthand. And I didn't expect it to happen with like the specific influencers that I met tonight. I am so sick of influencer culture where all people are is influencers. I'm a little drunk, okay? I had a few drinks, so I'm gonna just pour it all out there. while I eat this empanada. New York City influencers, there's a group of these girls. Swear to God, whenever I see them on my page, and I'm sure some of them are nice girls, like, I don't want to stereotype, but unfortunately they have made themselves a stereotype. They remind me of the popular clique in high school of like, kind of nice if you get to know them, but kind of fucking mean girls at the end of the day. They're cliquey, they're obsessed with themselves, they're egomaniacs, and this event just like further proved that to me. I go up to one girl tonight and I say, hi, I have to introduce myself. I'm a really big fan. She was nice at first, and then all of a sudden, like, she starts dropping things like, what events are you invited to this week? Where are you going afterwards? What agency represents you? Do you have a publicist? Starts talking all about her manager, and I'm like, no, I don't have a publicist or an agency that represents me. This is like my first Fashion Week event. Like, being cool, being normal, just kind of wanted to like shoot the shit with her. And she was so disinterested in what I had to say after I told her that I don't have anything else planned for Fashion Week. Also, just to note, this girl said to me that she was only staying for 20 minutes because her manager made her go. And keep in mind, we're at a very cool brand event. I literally waited like 10 more minutes, talked to a few more girls, very similar experiences with every single one. And these were like the New York City influencers that you guys all love, follow for their relatable content. Not relatable at all. I am praying the influencers we like change.
What's the worst date you've ever been on?
He started laughing hysterically while pointing at me in the middle of a restaurant. And when I asked him what was wrong, when he could finally calm down, he told me that he was laughing because I was too ugly, that I was hideous, and I reminded him of clowns. And he suggested me to become a comedian, so people would just pay me for how bad I look. It was Valentine's Day, and it was about almost 10 years ago now. It was a very nice little buffet. They really tried to be romantic. They gave us the little plastic roses, and they set the table differently. But because it was a special day, there were a lot of people, and our tables were really close to each other. So the people next to us kind of heard the entire conversation, and I felt like they were trying to sneak a peek. Like they were trying to look at me and see like what was going on. I was getting really self-conscious, and I'm never a confident person. And that comment just made things 100% worse for me. So I just really wanted to leave. And I was planning to get a bill. I love paying for lunch and dinner and stuff, but I just couldn't bring myself to go to another person to talk to them because I was on the verge of tears. So I stood up and I left. I mean, in my ideal scenario, I would have flipped the table first, but I didn't want to do that for the nice people who work there. So I just stood up and I left. And he was stuck with the bill, so he couldn't really catch up to me, but he was like, hey, don't go, wait for me. Why are you leaving? We haven't finished eating yet. The restaurant was located inside of a shopping mall. That's quite a common thing in my country. So I was able to wiggle my way inside of the shopping mall and found a subway station to go home. And he was stuck with the bill, and the shopping mall was really big, so he couldn't really find me. He kept messaging me, and he told me, why are you leaving? What's wrong? And I was so surprised. I didn't understand. Like, we don't live in a Korean drama. You can't seriously break my heart and then say, Kajima, and then expect me to wait for you. That's not how it works. So I got on the subway, I went home, and I was extremely confused because it's not like I catfished him. We have known each other for 4 or 5 years at that point. We were classmates before. So he knew what I looked like. And he asked me out. If you think this is a problem, why were you asking me out? I went home and I was hiding myself from my parents because I didn't want them to see that I had a bad time. And then the boy kept on messaging me, and he was apologizing when he realized that I meant it. I didn't want to see him again. And he told me that somebody else gave him this advice to break my heart first, to make me feel less confident so that I wouldn't cheat on him, so that I would stay with him forever. But halfway through the plan, I couldn't take it anymore. He explained by saying that he was just insecure, but no, thank you, no.